Hi, today we're in the Yorkshire Dales National Park and we're looking for red grouse. It's early March, I think it's the 4th of March today, and it's a good month to be doing the grouse. Probably February is also okay. They become very territorial at this time of year, and there's these little country lanes that go across the moors. They seem to use them as like a boundary between the territories, and it's very common to see the grouse standing right by the side of the road, especially early in the morning before the traffic's built up, and they're quite easy to photograph from a car window. So all you do is you drive around the moorlands and you're looking for areas where they've burnt the heather, because that means it's a grouse moor. They burn it in patches, so you get this sort of patchwork quilt, and you know you're in grouse habitat. And I can remember the very first time I drove across a grouse moor and I saw that patchwork. I thought, well, this must be it. There must be grouse here. Then you can confirm you're on a grouse moor because you've got the shooting butts. And also you'll see these white sticks everywhere, and those white sticks are to mark little seed trays that are down to deworm them. That's golden plover calling. You probably can't hear that, I can only just hear it. I did photograph golden plover on the next road years ago, right by the side of the road, but that doesn't happen very often with golden plover, apart from when they've got young. They come to the edge of the road when they've got young, but not normally at this time of year. So there's one coming up now on my left hand side. I'm going to have to shoot out of that window. The sun's over here, everything's perfect, and there's somewhere I can pull over on the grass here off the road, so if a car comes I haven't got to worry about it. The grouse is staying still, he's not moved. It's a male. Today I'm photographing in the Yorkshire Dales National Park, which in England is the place I have the most success with red grouse. Red grouse are found in other places, it's just they tend to be more showy in this particular park. Up in Scotland you've got a greater range of choice, anywhere in the Highlands, from around the Braemar area to Aviemore, but you're doing exactly the same thing, just looking for moorland where you can see that patchwork quilt of burnt heather. They're very tolerant of a car, and they rarely move away from you as you pull up, so long as you pull up slowly. The females tend to be slightly better camouflaged and not quite as showy. Ideally, I want the bird sitting on top of a bit of heather like this, but notice this bird is agitated. His body is tensing up, he's about to fly, and that's predictable, and you'll see it happen a lot as they take off in their display flight. From time to time you'll see them on tops of posts and the stone walls around the moors, and I like it when they're on top of a wall because you can now see the feet and the white feathering. Always taking vertical shots as well as horizontal. From the days when I used to be able to make a living at it, you had to have both formats. Don't like that one so much because the feet are hidden. This one that's down the ditch, if I roll forwards, he might go up the ditch. Quite a nice spot if he does. And there's a female there, and I haven't photographed a female yet this morning. Seen them, but it's not been very showy. It's the males that show off most. This is the female. Now after they do the call, they don't always fly into the display flight, but they do sometimes, and you just have to watch them. So a bit of a time lapse here, but you can see this bird was tense. He was looking like he was going to fly. Change of plan. There's been some excellent flight opportunities. It's very difficult to do flight out the car window. You can't swing with the bird. So I'm going to leave the car. It is now 5 to 9, so I've been here just over 2 hours. I've done just the 2 runs. Up the road, turned around, came back. That's taken 2 hours. I've got some footage, I've got some stills pictures. Now it's the flight. Can I get the flight? So I'm just going to walk up and down this road with everything set up for flight and just hope, as long as the sun keeps shining. When you're doing flight, you really want the sun, and you want a blue sky behind them, not a white sky. And there's a certain amount of cloud up there, but
not only was it very windy, but that wind was icy cold. It went right through you. When you're on foot, you still get the opportunity to photograph the grouse. This one was tame enough to be able to walk up to it and then get down on my hands and knees and get a bit closer. And I liked it amongst the bracken instead of the heather. These are the sort of pictures I was after. That's still not quite right, it was a bit too distant, but that's the display flight as they come down. That's the best one, but he's got his back to me unfortunately, but I love the wing spread if he'd been facing me. Now this bird was the one I got right. I've had to zoom back a bit, give myself a bit more space around the bird, because I'm predicting he's going to fly. He looks like he's going to fly, and he did. Now you've got the Sony A1, the 200 to 600, zoomed back slightly, shutter speed at least 2,500th of a second, and every picture is in focus on the eye. So I'm showing you the whole sequence that I got. You get almost 30 frames per second with the Sony A1. That's not too bad, but I don't like the way the head is against the far wing. That's better. Now the head is separate from the wing. That's probably the best shot of the sequence. And none of these are cropped. These are all full frame. I don't like that because the wings are just level. And I almost like that. I'm not so keen on the fact the bird is on the cross of the horizon there. I'd rather him be slightly below the horizon or above the horizon, but not on that line halfway between. And I'm just starting to lose the bird now. It's going faster than I can swing, but that constant viewing in the viewfinder without any flicker, again, it makes it so much easier to follow a bird.
It's cold out there. It's a really cold, icy wind. Anyway, that worked. I got one flight opportunity. So they do it frequently. They call, and then you sort of watch the body, and you'll see them tense up, and you think he's going to fly. And it's a very short flight. They just had to go up and flutter and come back down. I'd like to have got the flutter, but I haven't got that. But I got it taken off, and that wonderful Sony A1 camera locked onto it.
I'll just show you a few more stills pictures that I took on the day. Another one calling. It's nice when they stand on a hump like that as well. And then we'll just look at some pictures taken in the winter. So this is a female in the snow. These are all taken up in Scotland because you tend to get more snow in Scotland. And these are around the Findhorn Valley area. But wildlife in the snow always looks wonderful. And as a wildlife photographer, you're always trying to arrange it so you're there when there's snow coming down, which becomes more and more difficult in the UK. Thanks for watching.